Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for another edition of YBMcast. And today on the show, I have with me head coach, Francis Howell High School, Tony Perkins. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
We are starting a series here that Coach did. It's been a few years ago, yeah.
Yep.
That he's presented out at different coaching clinics and whatnot. And we thought this would be a great idea to bring as we're going into the off season. You first, young coaches, and this can really go into programs anywhere. Really, you could if you're at a youth level team, this can help out.
Oh yeah, a lot of drills and a lot of ways you do things. Doesn't work for everybody, but if you can pick up 2 or 3 things that helps your program, that's my goal.
Absolutely. So, and that's what this is: how to build a successful baseball program. And you've implemented this in your program, and it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it.
And so over the next, few weeks, couple months, it won't take too long, we hope, but we're going to start off with the first few slides here that we have. It starts off with camps. And camps is about your kids that are coming up and going to be playing at your high school, correct, Coach?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can have other kids up to 7th grade. That's okay. But once you get 8th grade, Misha says there's only like 20 days you can have for contact days. So
let's deal with this elephant in the room. And I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just, it's always good. How many coaches are really familiar with all the rules?
I don't know. Some are. Some are. The hardest part is, a lot of the high school guys don't coach in the summertime. So if you coach in the summertime, you're aware of what's going on. Like I cannot coach a team with Francis Howell kids on it, high school age kids.
Ah, okay.
Because with my camps, those days count, and every day I'm with a guy from Francis Howell, it counts as a day, even if I'm not there.
So that's it. So if you've got, say, 2 or 3 kids on a summer team and you're coaching them, that counts as days that you're
contact days.
Contact days in the off season. And how many contact days do you have?
I believe it's 20.
20? Mm-hmm. So there's no way you can do that.
So I go 2 camps and I do 4 days a week. That's 8 days right there. So I got 12 days left. Well, and then I do the GAC prep camp, which is 9th graders.
Right,
so that's 5 days. So I'm at 13. So essentially I have 7 days that I can use in the summertime too.
Now, is that per grade or per kid, or is it just
anybody at high school age, 8th grade, summer on up? That's okay. Those are those kids. The kids that'll be 9th grade be coming into your school. So
if you've got just for instance, you do the camp, you do the freshman camp every year, right? And all the other schools, the GAC freshman camp. It is 5 days. It's that full week.
Yeah.
So that counts. That takes away 5 of the 20 days, and that goes towards your juniors and seniors as well.
Yep. Anybody that's in the high school, it counts.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's not good.
You're down to 15. So if you have another camp, and it's just juniors and seniors,
still counts.
And so it isn't like you still have 20 for them.
No, it's not separate.
Wow.
I do run one other camp that's just, 4th grade through 7th grade because that doesn't affect them.
Right.
I could run those camps all summer and be fine.
And that's where we're going to start because you show here offer to 4th grade for the camps you offer to 4th grade on up, correct?
Yeah, there's some 3rd graders slide in there. If a parent calls me and says they're really into it and good, I'll let them in. But I just don't want it to become a babysitting service. Most of the kids these days they come prepared and they're into baseball.
Now you do this at a cost. It is a fundraiser.
Yeah.
For your baseball program.
Yeah.
Why do you do that, Coach?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, I bring a lot of coaches in. I mean, there are times I'll have 13 coaches at these camps, depending on my numbers, and I got to pay them, I got to pay myself. But after, where it's been the last, 10 years or so, it becomes a fundraiser for franchise baseball, you know, and when we, you know, need equipment or we need, a lot of times, like when we go to Kansas City, we'll upgrade to a nice charter bus because the schools will pay for like a yellow bus. But if I'm going to drive 6 hours on that thing in 24 hours, I want a nice bus. So, you know, we need money to cover the difference of that cost. You know, that's just one instance of stuff. You know, if I need to get screens or stuff for the field, I mean, we don't go without much just because of a lot of the fundraising that we do. And you know, I try and stay out of, you know, Sean Irwin's pocket. He's our AD. You know, so I try and, you know, do as much as I possibly can. You know, we got 2 hack attacks and, you know, those aren't cheap, but, you know, I got them now. And it's all because of a lot of these fundraisers that we do.
Do you get much blowback from the parents, or the parents pretty much all in because they understand that will benefit their kid long term?
Yeah, I think, no, not really. I mean, the camps that I run are $70 that I do, which is, I thought it was kind of steep when I first started it, but now it's not. It's just kind of cheap now. I mean, yeah, but I think that most parents understand that it's important to get in front of our coaching staff, you know, and they get that part of it. You know, I'm not able to go to, you know, 10-year-olds, 12-year-old games because I'm running with 17s or 16s or whatever else. So I don't get to see these kids. And it's a good thing. I think parents realize that they need to get in front of the coaches, get to know us, get to know how we do things, our expectations, you know, the goals that we have. And you know, I got a lot of, you know, like my sons come and help me and sometimes, and I get a lot of guys that come in and can share stories with these kids and get the aspect of how we do things.
Get the alumni coming back. And and some of these kids really know who they are. And especially you've got some alumni that have that major league experience that can make an impact.
Been pretty spoiled.
So when you're looking at that too, how much, you know, because you mentioned, you know, not getting in the AD's pocket, but does the school district have any say on some of these things? Are there limitations to what they allow, or, you know, so should a coach check with the athletic director to make sure there's no stipulations from the district at all?
Yeah, I mean, this is my 4th AD. And this is the first AD that I had as a baseball guy. So he understands and he gets it. You know, they do, you know, they supply things, you know, they buy baseballs for us. They buy helmets for us. You know, you have requests that you have before the season and put down, and I'll put down some stuff knowing I probably won't get it, but I'll give it a shot.
Never know, right?
and if he doesn't pay for it, you know, I might go out and get it depending on how bad I want it, you know, but that's how it works.
Okay. All right. So when you're looking at these camps, you've got all these 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th graders here. What's the main focus?
No, mechanics. I mean, it's breaking things down, going through, you know, from the very start. It's just, how do you stretch? What's a dynamic stretch? You know, and just things like that. You go through, we concentrate on, you know, we'll do a bunting day for sure. And we're doing hitting, you know, we got throwing. We have, you know, infield work. We break it down into position work, and, you know, I'll take off with the pitchers, and I got an infield guy, outfield guy, catching guys. We split up and do that. So we spend a lot of time on mechanics, but like it's a 3-hour camp. So the last half hour, 45 minutes, depending on what's going on that day, we let them have fun. We just go out and play a game.
And that's what I love about this, because you got in here, right here, number 3, has to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because it is 4th, 5th, 6th graders. You know, their attention span isn't always sometimes there, right?
They have fun. They come in, they're pretty quiet the first hour, then they settle in.
You got some contests here, and you run these contests. What do you got there, Coach?
Well, we do Mr. Hustle, and I always tell the kids, you know, it's prize day and the last day, which is Thursday. And I, you know, I have a lot of France House stuff, of course, with, you know, shirts and hats and T-shirts and just things that, you know, just even a brand new baseball, you know, something like that. I have a big old table set out. And Mr. Hustle is like each coach picks a guy that maybe hustled the most that week. May not be a great player by any means, but, you know, helping on equipment. Hey, can I carry that bucket for you? Or, hey, can I help you break down that screen? Or, got a lot of want to and a lot of energy, so that's a prize that you don't have to be great at baseball, but effort. I mean, right. And that's what we try to impress upon guys is effort.
There you go. I love this one because as we saw, and it's one of the reasons why I think the Dodgers lost.
They can't bunt. None of them can bunt.
Bunting, it's a lost art.
Oh, yeah. Not a how.
Right?
Yeah, we work on it. And the kids love it. It's so much fun. And when you go to the 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, we have a bunting day. And then we're going to scrimmage, and all of a sudden these little guys are laying it down, and they're safe every time pretty much. And they're like, wow. Yeah, it works, don't it?
Especially if you got speed.
Oh, yeah. And you're left-handed,
I was really impressed because I was talking with Jackson Carter on our spotlight this month for October, and the kid has world-class speed. He's a 6'4", and he told me, he says, I'm working on my bunting because I know if I can get, that's 5, 6, maybe 7 extra base hits.
Absolutely.
In a season, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Average builders, we call them.
And you're on base. He's going to steal some bases.
Absolutely.
He's going to give you opportunity to score, to scratch across a run in an inning.
Speed disrupts defense.
Right? It puts that pitcher in high-stress situations. Mm-hmm. And I think these are the things within the context of camps, the kids understanding what's, as you say, what's the importance of bunting? What's the importance of an accurate throw? And you got some of these things on here. I love this one, though, Coach. You got to explain this to me. Winners or weenies?
I'll tell you what, the 4th through 6th graders made that one up years ago.
That doesn't surprise me.
They did. It's just stuck. Basically, it's just a ground ball elimination drill. You get everybody out shortstop and you hit a ground ball. If you field it and make a good throw, you're in. If you don't, you're a weenie and you go out. and all the kids are yelling, weenie. They like it. When we do winners and weenies, Coach, where's it's going to happen?
Be cool. Yeah. And you got exit velo, so you're checking kids as far as their bat and whatnot, even at that age.
Yep.
I think it's always good to know where their strengths are, right?
Yep. Exit velo, MPs and pitchers. We do arm strength on all of them too. So I like it because when you get to them as a young age, they have a number. Mm-hmm. I always tell them, I used to tell them to, write it down in a notebook or something. Now I just tell them to put it in their phone, get in their notes and whatever else and just write it down. Okay, when I was in 6th grade, I was 52 miles an hour, Mm-hmm. I'm 7th grade, I'm 54. Okay, you're on the right path. But if you stay the same where you go backwards, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
And that goes with a lot of things, not just, your velo kind of a thing, with your speed. That's a big thing to, monitor, because if your speed's going down, you're probably putting on weight and not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So it's tough. I like it.
You also have your stations, and you rotate every 25 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, the attention span is a concern, because you got to keep them engaged, and keep them busy with it. And you don't want to be I'm not a big talker when it comes to coaching. I like, showing, teaching, whatever else, and let's get after it. I don't like staying around, and because you lose them. They lose their attention, and they're not into it much. So I try to keep it, 30 minutes is probably too much for the little ones, but it varies,
Yeah, I understand. But I like what you hit every day and evaluate. I like the bunt D, double cuts, 40, 60, home to first, home to home, relays. I think the double cuts, I think some of these things within this context, how many of these kids at 4th grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade, some of the coaches that they're out playing in their summer with really are bringing those things to bear.
Yeah, I don't think a ton of the 4th through 6th graders use the double cuts. It happens because they'll go running after the ball anyway in their line, doing that. But it's important. You got to get it. some
just
of
the
them,
basics of baseball.
Some of them have a little problems with it. They get too close together, you know, and I want to say you need 15 feet, you know, between the shortstop and second baseman. Need a straight line, you know, and going to third base on a sure double, and need the first baseman trailing, and you know, a lot of times they forget. By the time they get to me as junior, senior years, I don't have to deal with it too much because they got it, you know, and I'll just, before I even say anything, I'll just do it in practice in situations, and I'll crank one in the gap and see, okay, we're checking where everybody else is at, and I've been, you know, pretty spoiled that they get it and they get there. If they don't, they hear about it from me.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
But that's, I think the thing, you know, repetition, learning, understanding, if they're seeing it, you know, it's like, oh, that's part of baseball. It becomes part of the baseball IQ. Our kids retaining that information. And you see that over, and you can see kind of from year to year who's working, who's not, right? Right.
When I learned this at a clinic. Situations, I never hit them. I always have one of my assistant coaches hit it, and I stay out behind second base. So I'm in the middle of the field, so I can communicate better with the outfielders, the infielders. The hardest part is the catchers. A lot of times he can't hear me, but I'll yell a little bit. But if you out there, you can communicate with them. Say, hey, man, good job right there. Hey, you could have been here. You could look great right there, left fielder, if you'd been third base. I mean, you could look fantastic if you've been there.
Right.
That's on you, man. Get there.
And I think that it's tough in our day and age because sometimes the demand for the expectation isn't necessarily always there.
It is at Francis Howell.
And coaches need to understand that there has to be a demand for that expectation that this is where you need to be if you're going to play at a high level.
Absolutely.
And have success. These are the things.
Yep.
And these kids are understanding that demand for that expectation.
Yeah, if they don't get it done, somebody else will that's sitting on the bench.
Right.
Be in the game next.
And now let me ask you something, though. Do you think that's a little, you know, and I understand there's different levels and whatnot. There are some of these programs and whatnot. You're playing with the kids you have.
Yeah.
You don't have that opportunity. So what is something you can express to a coach in those situations that can bring about that same thought process?
You have to come up with some kind of reward system. You know, maybe a player of the game or maybe it's called a Mr. Hustle. It's like, okay, he was in the right spot at double cut. Make sure everybody's aware of that. You know, this is what you're supposed to be doing, you know. And you're right. Smaller schools don't have, you know, those options like I do. I mean, us bigger schools, we have a guy that we're going to throw in there. If we don't have him on the varsity, he's going to be on the sophomore team or JV team, and then he's coming up. You know, so there's a line there. You know, so next guy up.
Right. And I think that becomes, you know, a difficulty in how do you approach that, correct?
Yep.
And and you can start that in as early as in these camps. And I think if you're developing those things as you go. So, and I love this one here. You scrimmage every day. Why do you do that?
Just to have fun. I mean, they enjoy it. They look forward to it. When we scrimmage, especially little ones, they'll scrimmage for 2 hours if you let them. But you got to teach too, you know. So yeah, they have so much fun. I mean, and then the coaches throw to them, and you know, it's a feel good scrimmage where they're going to hit it. You know, we let them hit it, and then we're still talking about, you know, double cuts. We're talking about somebody lays down a bunt or somebody gets a guy over, you know, hitting oppo. You know, we make a big deal about it, and the kids understand, you know, what they need to do to be a Francis Howell baseball player. And it's ingrained right now, and man, we do, you know, leads and breaks is the thing that we do. You know, we do a throwing routine. By the time they get to high school, with the four corners drill, we didn't even talk about that. That's a drill we do. We do that, and I don't have to teach it. By the time they get to high school, they know those drills, and they just jump. I say, hey, we're doing four corners. We're doing Scanio drill. We're doing this drill, you know, and we've done it. We've ingrained it in camp, and then they've used it, and then they get to high school. It's awesome.
I like how you have this as you split up your focus every day, Coach. You got your bunt game start with a man on first. And then you're doing a hit and run start with a runner on first. So you're putting these situations into the game to start with.
Yeah. My favorite probably is the guy at second base, and I could get him over. You know, I don't care what you do. You bunt. You know, we always try to bunt third baseman, but you might bunt the second baseman there, or you get a ground ball to the right side, or you get a deep fly ball enough to where he could tag. Those are your bigger kids, but that makes them think about what you should do in that situation. You know, get him over there, get him third. And then it's so many times that guy, once you get him to third, you know, he scores most of the time.
I love that thought process too, because, you know, we still talk about it at the major league level. You're watching a ball game and you get the guy that has the productive out. You have that runner at second with no outs because he just hit a double. Okay, great.
He's bunting.
But how are you getting that guy over? Is it a productive out, you know, a fly ball to the right fielder, a ground ball to the right side, bunt, like you said? And a lot of times we're not seeing those things happen.
That's true. And I do a drill. I was having trouble with my offense at the runner at second base about reads on ground balls. You know, the rule is if the ground balls hit right at you, go. If it's behind you, you go. If it's in front of you, you go back to second base.
Right.
So we have to drill that. That gets away from people, I think, a little bit. That's a big deal to me. You know, like we were talking about getting over. I mean, and we actually do it in practice, and just, you know, and I'm trying to get them doubled up. And I'll hit that one, and I'll hit like line drives right at the shortstop in the air, you know, and see, okay, how's he reacting? Where's he going? Is he going back? Is he still doing a secondary and getting too far off? Is he going to get doubled up? All right, that's a bonehead. You got 2 poles. That's what we do.
Well, I still think that's I don't care who's, but if you don't have a lot of kids or not, 2 poles, that's good.
Oh yeah.
Think about what you're doing.
Yeah, we call them boneheads. And they get doubled up. They just take their helmet off and keep on running down the line and start running 2 poles. Next. I
know where I gotta go.
Yep.
Oh man, and I think these are things that are great. And opportunities within camps. And I know you know, high school, you're practicing every day. Summertime, some of these coaches aren't practicing every day.
It's hard.
Right.
I mean, you go out of town and you play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, you might sneak a practice in on Tuesday or Wednesday, but if the club teams, is the hardest part is getting fields. You know, they're in tight with some schools, and some schools allow it, but, you know, and then kids work. You know, high school kids, and it's hard to get them in and have a practice. You know, they'll all have their indoor facilities, so they can come in there and hit, and you work on some things. You know, pitchers can do recovery stuff, but you know, it's tough in the summertime to do that. And you're right. You know, I'm a summer coach. It's hard to get everybody in there to go over double cuts, to go over situations, to go over bunt defenses, go over picks, go over first and thirds, all those things that are huge parts of every game, because you got guys from different schools. Some guys know, some guys don't. You need 9 guys knowing.
Right. Exactly. 9 guys knowing. Where are you supposed to be? Hey, if you wanted to watch the game, buy a ticket.
Yep. No doubt.
Last thing here for camps, you got your last day is competition day, all phases listed. You know, try to give something to a ton of kids.
Oh, yeah. I went to baseball card shop a couple years ago, and I had a big old bunch of baseball cards, and I was handing them out to the kids. They love that, too. They're like, because I don't know if kids do. I collect baseball cards. Yeah. I don't know if they do that anymore, but, you know, trying to generate interest in the game.
Yeah, and I think that's great. We did that over the summer this last year. We had St. Louis Collectibles over there. Donated some cards, and we were doing trivia with the kids and handing out packs of cards. Man, they loved that stuff.
That's good stuff.
And you know, there were some kids that knew some stuff, and there were some kids that didn't. You know, it's one of those things, and it's surprised. You know, you're like, hey, all right, good for you, knowing some history there.
There you go.
And we tried to keep it Cardinals for the most part, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and the kids really enjoyed the cards. They knew the players, right? So, Coach, camps, first segment, we're going to keep going. We've got a whole PowerPoint presentation. You mind if we put this PowerPoint presentation in the show description?
Well, I do it. I want to share it.
And there's also some great stuff. We'll get to some of these things. He's got some video of some drills, some hitting drills that are in the bottom of this presentation that are there that can help you. You know, it's always good to have visualization, and it's always good to see these types of things. So we're going to have Coach back talking into the next segment. starting with your preseason. We're going to get into in-season, what all these things are. How do you build a program? We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yep. It's awesome.
So, as always, Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Good
Appreciate
stuff.
it.
Thank you.
Everybody, have a great day in the Lord. And you pitchers, keep throwing strikes. And I know, I got to say this. I know you ever hear the guy and hey, just throw a strike.
Yeah.
Kid's going, I'm trying.
No kidding.
You hitters, hit them where they ain't. We'll see you next time.